Hey, good afternoon. This is Chuck from Monocoque Metalworks. We are back after a, I don't know, two and a half month gap in our videos because of COVID. I thought I'd be saying, okay, it looks like we're kind of over the hump with that, but it looks like things are maybe ramping up a little down south of us or whatever. But we are back. We're in the shop. We're still doing our social distancing as best as we can. But we are fully operational and we are making parts, we're shipping them out, we're getting caught up on the restoration work. So hopefully you guys are staying safe, staying away from the virus, and in the meantime, maybe you're working on your E-Types. One of the things that we've been working on during this time is kind of opening up a whole new product line for us that we haven't really gotten into before, which is panels that are specific to the 2+2 cars. The 2+2 cars are serviced by the other guys in the UK, and they do make some panels for them, but they don't make them all. And unfortunately, a lot of the things that they don't make are the pieces that really rust on a 2+2, and they're complicated pieces down in the lower area of the B post. So if you're sitting in the car on the left-hand side, this whole area down in here or down in here on the other side is it's very tight. There's a lot of pieces, traps moisture, and it really rusts badly. So Brent, over the past 2 or 3 weeks, has been patterning these. One reason we didn't do them before was because we didn't have good examples. We don't do a lot of 2+2s here. I have a 67 2+2 that's an original Survivor. I love it, but you just can't pattern panels off a car like that. It's painted, undercoated, the whole interior's in. You really have to have something you can dissect. Well, over the course of this shutdown, I actually purchased a large batch of parts and a couple car bodies and things, and one of the things in there was a beat up, rusted 68 2+2 body with the roof cut off. It wouldn't have been good for much, but it was perfect to use as a donor car that we could dissect and get the patterns just right for 2+2s. So come on over here and I'll show you what we made. This is your standard replacement full 2+2 floor. This is the right-hand side. This is made in the UK by one of the other guys. It is not totally correct, but it's not bad. It's usable. You can see a 2+2 has these pressed-in recesses, like little stiffening pattern in the floor. These aren't exactly right, and they're also not quite deep enough, but it gets the job done. One thing that I am concerned about is this angle isn't quite right, but you should be able to mess around with that. Now, when you buy this piece, they do also put on this rear vertical wall and this little flat piece here, and then also this is an internal stiffener that's bent over and is part of the mounting plate for the radius cup. If you just jump in there and look straight down, you can see the only reason they give you this is because they have to if they want to put the radius cup on. All right, so this is the piece that you'll get from them, but you won't be able to get some of these other pieces around this that we're going to show you. Now, before I jump into that, in researching this, we could see exactly how this was done. They tried to use as many of the existing coupe pieces as they could. So the rear chassis legs are different, but they're only different in the front. The rear inner wing pieces in here are exactly the same as a coupe. And what they did was they made this piece, you can see this kind of goes right inside the rear chassis leg. So that part that goes in here and has the 2 mounts for the IRS cradle, that's the same. And then this piece coming down in the front is different. But the inner rear wing piece comes down. You see this little stepped flange here? This little angle is the actual angled part that on a coupe would be kind of that little upper floor area behind you. But because the 2+2, they kind of dish that all out to put the base of the rear seat in, they just took the standard coupe piece and then they put on this little extension piece to get down to the new 2+2 floor. that piece was tricky to figure out and get quite right with the curves, but what was really a bear, and something that Brent did a great job on, is this piece here. This is your inner sill is going to come in here like that. This piece here with the angle bracket is just kind of like a brace to brace up that whole little B-post area. And then you've got your inner, I don't even know what you want to call this, kind of like the inner shut face. This is a patch panel for the lower section of that. This panel on the actual car has another square hole here and goes way back. But that never rusts. It never gets mashed up. And there's a stiffener right in here. There's a row of spot welds. So we made this patch piece because this always gets rusted along the bottom, especially in the shut face area. And that way you can splice it in right where you've already got that stiffener. So that's that piece right there. Now, you might not quite have your bearings here, especially if you don't have a 2+2, but if you do, you're probably loving this. This is part of the inner chassis leg piece that comes down. You can see it starts to curve up there. This is another piece where it's a big complicated piece going up in there that never rusts. But this always rusts. So we made this little part of it right there, all right? And actually it kind of tilts down at an angle, and this stuff is tough to get into place. You got to really mash it into place, but believe me, it is right. We went round and round with these patterns, like we always do. And then this floor piece goes in there. So you can kind of see how it dishes down and then curves up. That's where your butt kind of goes right in there. So there's those pieces. Now this piece is also a patch piece. It would regularly come up to about here and also has a big square hole in it with a plate on it to access the IRS. But you don't want to start tearing all of this out if you don't have to. We can make you that full piece if you insist on it. But I think you're better off to just patch in this bottom plate. And we've already got 2 customers that have placed orders for that. So that's how that goes in there. And then what you're missing here is that this inner, I can't really hold that all at the same time, but what you're missing is that this kind of goes and has a piece that goes right in here. Okay? So we've got all of that available. Now, let's turn this around, show you what it looks like from the other side. Here again is that piece. Look at this. What a beautiful job. Nice work, Brent. And it's got this little step flange here. They really were just kind of playing like a game of bridging the gap. We could see the coupe pieces back there. We could see their floor they had. And then they just started making all kinds of crazy stuff to get from there to here and take up that 9 inches. But this is one of those. This goes in here like this. You can see it's got that little step flange. And then right in here is where your inner sill is coming up and around like that. All right? Now, on the smaller cars, the coupes and the roadsters, this is your rear sill closing panel, and this would be bent over and it would be a lot longer. On this one, this just tucks right in there like that, and then there's a row of spot welds like that. So whereas the coupe and roadsters come down at like a right angle, this kind of has a little curvature here like that. All right? Now, if you come back around me, I will show you what we did for the shut face, which is even more complicated on a 2+2. 2+2 has this crazy shut face that is a pressing. Get some of that. Look at that. This was a collaborative effort between Brent and I. This has the seam that runs right up the middle. All right, this is a fabricated piece. We welded 2 pieces together. And that goes there like that. Now, you might be thinking, I'd rather have the whole shut face. Well, I wouldn't get into all that, especially when it's only the bottom inch or 2 of this that rusts. So this is a patch piece, again, that you can get in there and fix your 2+2. All right, look at that. God, that just looks great. All right. We did also pattern and fabricate this wall piece as just part of this project. And again, like I was saying, this angle on ours is correct. On this other supplier's piece, the angle's not quite right. Some of this other stuff's a little sloppy, but we can make you that too. All right? Now, to kind of give you your bearings of where this would go on the car, we made some other pieces. Now, on a 2+2, it kind of has these outer floors that are sunken, and then like a central, what I call the inner upper floor on a 2+2 that actually seems to never go bad. It's thicker metal. But to give you, to kind of set your bearings for what we're talking about, this is what it looks like in the car. All right? So if you were in the UK and you were the driver, this is where your butt would be, right here, kind of more over here. In the US, this is where the passenger's butt would be, and then your rear seat passengers. I know it looks close, and it is, believe me. The 2+2 was great when my kids were 10, 6, and 7. Now that they're 17, 16, and how old's Cooper? 12. It's a joke. So you just can't fit back there, but little kids fit. So here's your butt for the front seat guy, and then here's your butt for the back seat guy. But then this is that center floor that we talked about. So let me just, I can't hold this up and talk with my hands at the same time. So let me put this up here. So here's the center floor. It's 18 gauge, and then these runners are like the 2+2 version of those top hat sections that run down the floor on the coupes and roadsters. These are a heavier 16 gauge. They've got little holes here, and you can see we still need to kind of do a little dish out here. But studs would go through. Those are your muffler mounts in there. You're in the center of the car. And then right here are your seat mounts. The seats are actually up a little higher on a 2+2. These are angled. These are the backs of the runners go in there. And then the runners go up and are also mounted to the cross member, which is up in here. So these are the inners, and you've got your tunnel. Your tunnel goes right in here. You don't have a tunnel like it's set on there, but tunnel goes right there. There's your seat mount. And then your other side, this is the outer seat mount. They've actually got, this is an exact reproduction of the real thing. And you know, in order to make the real thing, you've got to have one you can take apart. Here's the real deal. It's taken apart. It's sandblasted. Brent drilled it all apart, measured it. So here's that, and that goes out here like this. It's got this angle for it. It mounts right on that angle. I'll show you. It goes right here like this. So between getting this rear sill closing panel siped out, we've got this inner shut face wall up here. We've got the other shut face repair that I showed you that was the welded piece. And then we've got those pieces in here. This is the area that rusts out. Whatever you need in there, we now make it. I apologize to all the people who've called about it for the past 10 years, and my response was, hey, there's a lot going on in there. I don't have one to pattern. Sorry, do the best you can. We've got it all now. So welcome back after the virus. Like I said, keep staying safe. Hopefully we'll get through this, and we'll be here making parts. We're going to try to get back on the videos at least once a week. And signing off from Monocoque Metalworks. Thanks for watching.